Let's follow up on the situation in North Carolina with this transgender bathroom bill, HB2. Here is the backstory. Some time ago, the North Carolina legislature passed a bill called HB2. That bill not only mandated that individuals must use the bathroom that corresponds with their birth genitalia, it also mandated that you cannot have municipality level non-discrimination ordinances with regard to sexual orientation or gender identity. There was this backroom deal made where Charlotte agreed to rescind their non-discrimination ordinance, and in exchange, Pat McCrory, the Republican governor, agreed, and the Republicans in the North Carolina legislature agreed, okay, Charlotte has rescinded what caused us to pass HB2 in the first place. We will get together and talk about repealing HB2. It was all expected to happen smoothly. Even outgoing and disgraced Republican Governor Pat McCrory, one of the most deplorable governors in the country, along with Sam Brown back in Kansas and Snyder in Michigan, and quite a long list of other deplorables. One of the top Republican deplorables agreed, we're going to talk about this. It's been a disaster for the state. Businesses have been pulling jobs out. Organizations have been pulling events out of North Carolina. Pat McCrory losing his re-election campaign narrowly and arguably, at least in part, because of the uproar against HB2. Well, the entire repeal has absolutely and utterly and embarrassingly imploded. It's not going to happen for at least 6 months. The General Assembly started a special session yesterday. They ended it after 9 hours with HB2 still on the books. And Charlotte did its part on Monday, right? They rescinded the law that was the catalyst for HB2. McCrory, I'm not a defender of Pat McCrory, but the special session was called just like Pat McCrory said it would happen. But instead of a repeal, the special session ended with Senator Phil Berger, the Republican leader in the House there, putting in a measure to start a, quote, 6-month cooling off period during which nobody can make any changes to ordinances of this type, these non-discrimination ordinances, to ordinances relating to employment discrimination and public accommodations. So this means that at minimum, HB2 remains in effect for 6 more months. And the General Assembly claims that they're going to take these 6 months to start working on what they call a long-range solution to the issues. Obviously, it's unclear what their definition of a solution even is, but the broader concern, and Democrats in the North Carolina legislature have voiced this concern, these cooling off periods could be extended indefinitely. We're going to have a 6-month cooling off period, and in 6 months, we're going to have another 6-month cooling off period. Now, that may not happen for a couple of reasons, and I'll talk about why. Number one, there's the background hope that when the new Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, is sworn in, that he will end this nonsense and push for statewide protections for sexual orientation as well as gender identity, and end the retrograde insanity. That's the hope, and we'll see if that happens. In the meantime, though, we have to understand that the business impact, the financial impact of HB2, events pulling out of North Carolina, businesses choosing to expand in other states rather than in North Carolina, that's what has caused a lot of the uproar and the discussion about whether HB2 needs to go. Businesses need to continue putting pressure on the state, continue to pull jobs out, continue to pull events, keep doing it. And you have to remember, there are still many Republicans in the North Carolina legislature who absolutely don't want this repealed. They are only even willing to consider it because of the financial impact, and they're hearing from constituents. When businesses pull out, their constituents lose jobs, and that is what is influencing them, and you have to keep the pressure up. This from the beginning was this backroom deal in exchange for repealing the Charlotte non-discrimination ordinance. This isn't about Republicans seeing the light about how much of a disaster this bill is. It is financial, and we need to keep the financial pressure up, and hopefully I mean, at this point, who really knows? Hopefully 6 months is it, and then HB2 will be gone. We'll continue following it into 2017.
Today's show is brought to you by GoDaddy, where you can buy your own domain name, build a website, or use any of GoDaddy's business tools. You can save 30% at trygodaddy.com/David. GoDaddy has actually been the official host of the David Pakman Show website for many, many, many years. The 24/7 customer support has been a very good thing for us. I've called them at really odd times when we've had website issues, and they are always available. They are the largest domain registrar, and whether you have a new idea, you're an established business, you're creating a personal website, or moving your large enterprise site over to GoDaddy, they can do it all. 13 million customers. Try it and get 30% off at trygodaddy.com/David.